Did you think Hollywood had already sold out of all the reboots? That they had already recycled even the smell of popcorn? That nothing else would be sacred, not even the relics of the 90s? So boom, Happy Gilmore 2 comes up, and not as another one of those pathetic attempts to suck every last drop out of a dead classic. No, it arrives as a slap in the face of boredom, a reminder that the absurd still has a place in cinema. And perhaps it always has. Black screen, black and white flashback. Adam Sandler young, cap turned backwards, face of someone who doesn't know if he's going to play golf or punch someone. He yells at the golf ball, "Go home, you bastard!" Dry cut. Adam Sandler today, older, more wrinkled, but still with the same scream and the same cheap golf club. And for some inexplicable reason, it still works. Because this movie was never about the sport. It's about the guy who plays like he's trying to beat a buggy video game from 1996. It's about failure taken to the extreme with such enthusiasm that you root for him. And the best, he doesn't care what you think. Gradually, you understand. Happy Gilmore 2 is not just another sequel. It is a cinematic protest with a golf club in hand and a ball flying in the face of seriousness. It's the kind of movie that comes along when everyone has given up expecting something good. And precisely for this reason, he shines. It's a kick in the ass of seriousness. A well-given punch in the existential boredom of important films, and, let's be honest, this was being missed a lot. It's easy to call it's the automatic label, the intellectual excuse for not admitting that you laughed. And it wasn't just any laugh, it was that ugly laugh which escapes in the middle of the silence. When you're trying to play the sensible adult, the kind of laughter that makes you look around to see if anyone noticed, and he did, but that's okay, because Happy Gilmore 2 doesn't give you a choice. This movie is like that friend you promised never to hang out with again because this time it went too far. The one who made you pay for yourself dancing on the table. But at the end of the night, it's with you at karaoke screaming Backstreet Boys like the 2000s were still alive. That's that. Happy Gilmore 2 is that friend. Inconvenience, noisy, hilarious. Here, comedy is not meant to be sophisticated. There is no joke with reference to Dostoevsky. There is no slow-motion sequence with a minimalist soundtrack. It's golf. Club flying, old man fighting with alligator, and Adam Sandler screaming at a ball. And that's wonderful. Sandler knows what he's doing. He doesn't want to reinvent the genre. He wants to remind you what it was like to laugh at something simply dumb but honest. No excuses, no post-credits, just pure laughter. And in times when each film seems like a philosophy lesson in disguise or part of a multiverse of morals, Happy Gilmore 2 appears with a banana in his hand and shouts, "Go play golf!" Man, it's a breath of honest creativity. And, ironically, this has become a rarity in Hollywood. Did you think that only young people with magical powers, vibranium armor, or space uniforms had a place in the cinema? That there was only room for us with a defined jaw, accelerated metabolism, and catchphrases said, looking at the horizon? Then Happy Gilmore 2 arrives. With wrinkles, lower back pain, and zero shame on my face, and it shows, with gusto, that the old guard still has wood to burn and fire to spread. Adam Sandler is back. Yes, just the way we remember it. Crooked cap, golf club, and that look of someone who is going to hit the ball or the referee, depending on the mood. But he does not come alone. It has Carl Weathers back in ghost mode. That's right, call it the Obi-Wan of golf, if you will. He appears in moments of spiritual wisdom and physical chaos, sometimes at the same time. There is also Ben Stiller reprising the role of sadistic nurse, still taking care of Grandma, with a psychotic smile, and yes, Grandma is back too. More addicted to slots than ever, betting on online casino sites in between shots. It is the most absurd shared universe ever invented. A mixture of nostalgia, insanity, an inside joke, and the truth. We loved every second of it. And the most genius, they don't try to pretend to be young. There is no digital lift. They embrace ridicule with pride. And, in doing so, they are more authentic than many 22-year-old influencers who post selfies. With Nietzsche on the bedside and a caption saying only vibes, these people don't want to prove anything. They just want to have fun. And the audience goes along laughing and cheering ... because it is impossible to resist. Remember when you saw the first Happy Gilmore? It was probably on a pirated VHS with the shaky image, the sound sounding like it came from inside a can, and a subtitle that appeared 5 seconds after the speech. And yet, ... you laughed. He laughed out loud. He laughed as if nothing else mattered, because at that time, the world was simpler, and laughing was easier. Now you're older. Hair has changed, responsibilities have increased, and maybe you've even stopped watching comedies that don't win awards. But Happy Gilmore 2 arrives like that old friend who meets you on the street, slaps you on the back and says, "Let's get up to it again." Because there's something about that kind of humor that doesn't get old. It doesn't go away, it grows with you. It becomes part of your emotional repertoire. It becomes an internal reference. You're not just watching a movie, you're opening a window in time. It's going back to a time when a guy taking a golf swing and breaking a road sign was the pinnacle of entertainment. Happy Gilmore understands this. It brings the same spice, only now with a pinch of actuality and well-fitted sarcasm. Without forcing depth, without trying to please everyone, and ironically, that's exactly why he pleases. If this video made you laugh, remember, or even made you want to rewatch the first movie, then you're in the right place. Subscribe to the channel now, because here we dig up the classics, unravel the absurdities, and show you, with a lot of humor, what is still worth watching, even if it involves a golf club and a lot of crazy stuff. Let's be serious, this wasn't supposed to work. A belated sequel to a 90s comedy with the same protagonist. Released in 2025, when everyone is all talking about AI, multiverse, and smart scripts, it was supposed to go bad, like forgetting that this movie existed bad. But then, something improbable, almost miraculous, happened. The film didn't try to be too clever, he did not become self-referential, there was no character saying, "Wow, this is like a sequel, right?" No one was explaining the joke with flashback, and, thank God, there was no emotional monologue about how golf represents the struggle of modern man against the capitalist system. They only played golf, and they made fun of everything in the process. Taco, breaking, ball flying, old man cursing, ... and you laughing like a teenager seeing Hidden from Your Mother. And ironically, or perhaps brilliantly, it was exactly this lack of commitment that became the trump card. Like lightning that struck twice on the same golf hole, as if someone in Hollywood said, "You know what? Let's make the film our way. And if it goes wrong, at least we had fun, and in the end, it worked." Very right. Now, tell me in the comments, did you also think this was going to go bad? Or have you ever entered the cinema hoping to see the classic chaos back? I want to know if this lightning bolt also hit you. Write it down. Let's laugh about it together. Of course there was controversy. There always is. We live in a time when even the sound of a golf ball can offend someone. So when Happy Gilmore debuted, the headlines didn't disappoint. Outdated jokes, toxic humor, Sandler promotes violence against defenseless golf clubs. Yes, there was even an online petition to protect the tacos. But do you know what happened after all this screaming? The people ... liked it, the people laughed, and, most importantly ... defended. Because after so much time walking on eggshells, trying to be politically correct in absolutely everything, people were thirsty for a movie that doesn't try to apologize every 5 minutes. A film that is not afraid to look silly. A film that is just that. A film, Happy Gilmore 2 doesn't try to explain itself, nor justify itself. It just exists. With flying tacos, screaming old men, absurd jokes, and a frenetic pace that makes you forget the seriousness of the world for an hour and a half, and that, nowadays, is almost revolutionary. Not because it's perfect, because it is not, but because it is free. And freedom, in the middle of this jungle of plastered productions and scripts reviewed by committees, is worth more than gold. If you've also grown tired of movies that look like lectures, then comment there. When was the last time you laughed without guilt? I want to know if you have felt that relief too. That breath, that finally you can choose. You can continue to pretend that you only watch French cult cinema in black and white with enigmatic titles like The Silence of the Cactus in winter. You can say that you only like non-linear scripts and metaphors about the post-industrial human condition. Okay, the intellectual pose is good for the ego, but deep down, you need a little chaos, a little bit of well-done stupidity, give a kick to logic, and a hug to the absurd. You do need a little happy, because Happy Gilmore 2 is not an artistic manifesto. It's an explosion of nostalgia with silly jokes, random screams, and people getting hit by golf clubs. And sometimes, that's exactly what we need to remember what it's like to really laugh. Think about it. When was the last time you laughed at the movies without wondering if you were politically correct? When did you laugh out loud? Really? With no shame? If you want unfiltered nostalgia, VHS-scented humor, and a punch of energy in the middle of sameness, then Happy Gilmore 2 isn't just a movie. It is a cry of go, go, go. In slow motion, with a 90s soundtrack and an alligator in the background. Now it's up to you. It's going to play ... Or will he continue to complain on Reddit, making a thread about the decline of humor in the digital age? If you have the courage to have fun, comment there. And if you found this video worthy of your like, shares with that friend who still has the DVD of the first movie hidden at home,